I have people all the time. They're like, I'm going to do my own brokerage. No. No, you don't.
Yeah, because I always tell people, I'm like, well, like there's two different things in this world. There's like stress. It's like if you have like a shitty boss and you're working like a 9 to 5 and it sucks and you're like just having to work super hard, like you can work through stress.
100%.
But like the worry of like, am I going to make payroll? Like, is this big job going to come through? Am I, is this client going to lose their mind and cause a lawsuit?
Are my agents going to actually sell homes this month?
Yeah, exactly.
And then are they going to close? That's the biggest stressor. Is like, we spend like $100 grand a month. So do you.
I mean, it costs like 70 grand a month just to run the company.
Yeah, that's like.
Well, and that's what will keep you up at night. And I'm like, and I'll have these like every morning I wake up, there's like 30 minutes of like just anxiety of just like this needs to happen. And then like after that, I'm like, no, I'm the man. I got this, But it's just like, that's the thing that you can't just eat through. You can eat through stress. You cannot eat through the worry. Like the things have to happen to make that go away.
Yep.
Like the money has to come through. But that's why my mantra is always like, there's always a path forward. Because we always just find
This doesn't work if you don't love the process either. Like there's a lot of stress that goes into running a business or businesses. You got to deal with like the people, your leadership teams, your agents, in your case, your contractors and all of that. And if you can't handle that, or if you don't have I think the biggest thing for us is you can match and mirror like every personality type, not just a few. Like if I'm talking to you, it's gonna be different than I'm talking to somebody else. You have to be able to have those qualities as a leader to be able to grow, and you have to also be able to kind of just tone it down. A lot of people think when you're in leadership or you're running the show, you have to like just be this like big bad boss that like puts the hammer down. Like we don't live in that world anymore.
Yeah.
You could have done that to my parents. That's what they would have expected, but we don't live in that world anymore, right?
But don't you also feel like I don't feel like I'm bringing the hammer down. I feel like I'm giving everyone everything.
No, that's my point. It's like we don't. I see you every day. We're probably too nice.
Yeah.
Which has its flaws as well, but.
Yeah, but it's also like I always like to like lead with like love. Like all of our like subcontractors, they're always like, "You're our favorite boss." Like it's like a very family-oriented thing. And then it's like when you're family, those people don't want to you over. Like they're hurt if I'm like, hey guys, like we have this issue, and they're like, dude, let's make it right because we treat each other so well.
Yep.
So that's the other thing is I'm not like this like tough negotiator that's like making money by paying my guys dirt. It's like I rarely negotiate. I always tell them like, dude, like as long as you're giving me a fair price, we're gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you get some people that get a little greedy, and then a price comes back like an outlier super high. And then I'm like, okay, now you're opening the door for me to look elsewhere.
I'm the worst negotiator when it comes to I'm the best negotiator when it comes to my clients.
Yeah.
I'm the worst negotiator when it comes to my agents.
Yeah.
Because I love them so much, but that's also why they've all stayed most.
How many agents do you have?
80-ish.
Just in Austin?
Between Austin and Houston.
Oh, okay.
Majority of them are in Austin. I think we got like 15-ish in Houston.
I mean, dude, that's not small. That's pretty freaking huge.
And you know what's interesting? We've never recruited. We're starting to get more into the recruiting side of things because we just have never done it. So we don't know what the hell we're doing. We have our ideas of what to do, but I've learned as we've grown, especially being younger when I started the company and being in Austin and the nightlife and all of that. You just meet all of these really cool people. You bring them on as agents. They're kind of your influencers for your brand, which then brings on more agents and more agents. And then if you create an incentive structure around recruiting with the agents, and they just want to bring their friends on, then it always grows. And so that's what we did, and it worked out really well. Just
so
organically.
Organically, you got 80 agents. That's insane.
Yeah.
So imagine if you were like
really
tactical about like getting more.
I know.
But the other thing is, you don't.
I want more?
That's what I was gonna say. Do you just want anyone?
No, one of my buddies and old business partners. He's out in Houston. He has his own real estate brokerage, and he's also crushing it. And he's, I think he has about 40 agents right now. He's catching up very quickly to where we are. And he called me the other day and was like, I've got 40 agents, and he has a similar model to us where we pay for everything and we give them leads and all of these things. And he's like, I'm trying to like always figure out ways to really add value to each individual agent. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, but I also, like, so he's like, do I want to go get 100 agents? Is that scalable? And I'm like, you can go get 100 agents, but the more agents you get, and it's been hard for even us at Sprout, it's very hard to add value on an individual agent basis because that costs money. Like you can't, like I add value to my agents individually because we spend like $2,000-$3,000 per agent per month on like leads and all like their systems and all of this stuff.
But see, that's awesome because that's why someone will be like, what is this brokerage giving me?
But when you get, but then when you get to 100 agents, 200 agents, 300 agents, it's almost impossible to do that on an individual basis. Like you have Compass and EXP, they add their value to all their agents in regards to like their systems and their marketplace and their national exposure and all of that. And that's value as a whole to an agent, but that's not individual agent value, right?
Well, and the other thing is, if you have 100 people, how many of those are going to be turds? And you're going to be spending $2,000 to $3,000 on that person that's not going to close any of that?
And again, so we spend $2,000 to $3,000 a month on a per agent, but not on all 100 agents. Like we have a tiered structure on purpose. Like we have brand new agents coming in, they've got to like show their worth and get into the system. Like it's all based off, a lot of that's based off of the amount of money we spend on leads because we just spend so much money on leads. And right now, leads, everyone, especially Zillow specifically, because I love going on the Facebook forums because everyone just talks so much trash about Zillow and I think it's hilarious. That's like 50% of our business right now.
Well, in a slow market, like aren't your leads a lot more expensive?
That's what's sickening. And a lot of agents do know this, but a lot of them don't, especially on a brokerage level. You can go buy Zillow individually. I think they're getting rid of that soon, at least with Premier Agent. I mean, we're spending like $500 to $1,000 every time an agent answers the phone.
No way. See, and that's the thing that people that's the thing. It's like you want to own your own brokerage. You want to spend $1,000 every time the phone rings when people are picky and they're not really buying like crazy.
And look, there's so many brokerage models out there. We just decided to go with this one because I mean Zillow has a really good return. Every dollar we put in, we get $3 out. It works. But you can open a brokerage up where you do a flat fee model. You can open a brokerage up where you don't do leads at all and you add value in other ways like trainings and whatever. But
why did you?
Because you have to. I tell all my agents this. You have to be good at your sphere and know how to work that very well.
But what is this sphere? You need to talk about
your sphere of influence, your friends, your family. You're doing open houses, going and networking, like that, managing that. All that's sphere.
The sphere is just.
It's what an agent goes and gets on their own.
Right. It's what each individual agent brings to the table.
Yeah, they need to be good at getting that, but then they also need to be good at generating leads in some form, whether it's through their brokerage or if they want to do it themselves. You have to be, in my opinion, you have to be good at both because like right now, Sphere is dead, right? It's been dead for probably 8 months, maybe a year in some cases. And I have
that's going to follow the market.
And I had some agents that really struggled with that weren't on, even here, that weren't on leads, that then got on leads because their Sphere was incredible. And then it just, everything died off and rates went up and people just kind of tapped out. But if you know how to go and procure the leads and find those people and get good at that and learn how to have conversations with people you don't know, then at least you always know where you can go to find business if business isn't there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because like Sphere business, like a referral or those are layups.
Yeah.
They're all, there's not much skill to converting that person because it's a referral or someone other than like open houses. That's more.
Well, and they know you already. You don't have to like talk up how you can offer value to them and why you're going to be a good agent.
That's right.
But I guess my question that brings up is like, are there certain agents that are just sphere-oriented agents that can't work the leads, or do you think everyone has it in them?
I'll give you an example. I have an agent in Houston. I love him to death. He's like the perfect agent. His name is Zach Toth, and he's a full-time school teacher. I don't know what I think he's at 10 million this year.
Wow.
As a full-time
That's awesome.
a full-time school teacher. I'm like, I haven't asked him yet, but I have my assumptions. I'm like, what do you just like slipping some cards in your kids' pockets and let them go to school, and then they're putting them on their teachers' desks every day? Like, what's going on, bro? Because you're crushing it.
That's awesome.
I think he is the #1 agent in Houston right now. I mean, because 10 million in this market right now, volume-wise, for majority, that's a top producer in general in this market because it's just so dead. But he doesn't need anything from me. He's just like, hey, just close the deal, or here's the DA to get paid. He's easy, right? So he doesn't need leads or one thing because he's got his own thing going. But
well, and then like, in this dead market compared to like when it was red hot and every person in the world was like, I'm going to just become a realtor because you could just sell a house by just saying you wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
How do you like keep morale up when it's like you have to work so much harder and it's delayed gratification, right? So like all these agents, they're working something now that might not come to fruition in 6 months plus. Like, how do you keep morale up? Like, how does that go?
I mean, it's not easy, but a lot of these agents have been here for a really long time, and so it's nice. April gets mad sometimes because, you know, I come to the office, and same with you. I come to the office, and basically I hang out with my friends all day, and that's how my agents look at it too. Like they come to the office, they hang out with their friends all day because everyone's just so close, and I'm so grateful that I have that because. Could you imagine not going to an office where you can hang out with your friends?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to a certain extent, but it's so funny. Yeah, my wife's like, you know, I'm at home all day with the kids, and you get all this social interaction with everyone, and I'm like, I want to kill half these people. You know what I mean? Or like, I'm just like, yeah, but you also don't see all of those other stresses and worries that we're talking about, right? But I also do get that, like, I mean, it's pretty cool. This office is
the office
awesome.
is cool. Our people are cool. Which makes the culture amazing, which helps with morale. But again, we also have the systems. Like they don't have to worry about when their next deal is going to come. They don't have to worry about where those deals are. They just have to do it. All they have to do is go into the system, start calling buyers, these buyer leads or seller leads that have come in over the past 6 months, year. You can be strategic on how you filter that. But I always tell agents in general whenever they're interviewing brokerages, including like if they're interviewing me, what is it that your broker is going to do for you, or what resources does your broker have for you to be able to have conversations with buyers and sellers every single day? And for a lot of agents, it's like if you don't have an answer for that as a broker to an agent, it might not be a good fit, depending on the agent. Now, if they're a really good agent, they're crushing it on their own, cool, that's easy.
Yeah, but that's the other thing is like all these people want to go after some of these like big name brokerages, and I'm like, you're just going to be like a number on a piece of paper. Like what is that they really going to do for you? Because if you can't make it like on your own to a certain extent, in my opinion, going to some big shop brokerage isn't going to do anything for you.
I mean, it's happened and it never does. It's a cool brand play. Look, a lot of agents leave brokerages in general, especially whenever it's a down market.
Just to get like a fresh start.
Like a fresh start. Yeah. I've had agents leave, figured themselves out, and came back. And that's great. I love that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool.
And you always welcome them back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is what it is. But no, I don't think, for a lot of agents, I don't think that just switching to like a Compass or a Douglas Elliman is going to change the game for you. I mean, they have their pitches and all of that, but I've never been in a situation, even when I first started Sprout, where I went on like a listing appointment, I was working with the buyer, and they're like, oh, I've never heard of Sprout. I don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
Right? It's the agent. It's not the brokerage.